Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Data and AI South Florida user group. My name is Adriano, your host. And today we have another very exciting presentation for you. But before we get started, let us know, where are you connecting from? I'm here in beautiful South Florida. So use the live chat and let us know, where are you located at. So what are we bringing here for you today? We'll be talking about Microsoft Fabric as well Azure OpenAI and bringing them, the two of those technologies together. And we have a very special presenter who's going to help you facilitate, clarify for you that process. Now, before we go and get started, let me let you know, if you have any questions during the presentation, use the live chat window to enter your questions. If the presentation has completed, use the comment section to enter your questions. And also to say thank you. And if you like the presentation, of course, drop a nice comment and a like. And remember to subscribe to the channel. So, what is here for us today? We have our presenter, Rajanish, presenting on unleashing the power of AI in Microsoft Fabric. So it's going to be a very interesting and insightful presentation by Rajnish. And without further ado, hello, Rajnish. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Rajaniesh Kaushikk joining you from Toronto. Very excited to be part of this session today. Hello, Andrew. Hello, how are you today?
Well, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty excited. This is my first session in your user group.
I hope to be the first of many. Looking forward to it. Very exciting and interesting title. And the description too was very like, yes, I got to check that out.
Absolutely.
You know.
So let's get started, guys.
All right, so let me get your screen up here in just a second.
Sure.
All right, so again, folks, remember to like, subscribe, and drop a positive comment. If you have a question during the presentation, enter in the live chat. The presentation has completed. Use the comment section, and we will follow up with the presenter regarding the question. Now, without further ado, it's all you, Rajanish.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Andrew.
one there.
Today's topic is very interesting topic, unleashing the power of AI in Microsoft Fabric, building an intelligent AI assistant. You might have heard about intelligent assistants, you might have heard about co-pilots, but how do I build intelligent AI assistant with Microsoft Fabric? Microsoft Fabric is, something like a new tool for most of you guys. It's just launched in November 2023. And before I go further, um, first of all, I would like to say that it's a real pleasure to be here today with all of you. And let me introduce myself very quickly. I am Rajneesh Kaushik. And if I have to describe myself in one sentence, it would be someone who is very much obsessed with turning ambitious AI ideas into the real world governed system that could actually work in the production environment. Over the last 2 decades, I worn many hats, and from debugging .NET applications to building modern AI platform for Fortune 500 companies, I have done all of them. Currently, I lead the Databricks practice for Virtusa. And yes, I proudly carry the titles of Databricks MVP, Microsoft MVP, Databricks Champion, and many more. But beyond these labels, what really drives me is this. We are in an era where AI agents are evolving from scripted chatbot to autonomous systems. And that can make those decisions for you, not just making decisions, but take actions, improve themselves as and when the flow starts. And that is what today we are going to talk about. How we can architect this kind of tools which you already have in your tool stack. So let's dive deeper, because agentic AI is no more a fiction for anybody. It is actually your next deployment. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to learn today. We'll start with, why this session. Is it again a new agentic AI session, or something new is coming in this? What we will learn today, right? And what is this Microsoft Data Agent, Fabric Agent? What is AI agent? And then what is the overall architecture of this agentic AI in Fabric? Then we will jump to a demo, understand what is happening behind the scene for this demo, and what are the different benefits of this whole approach which we have implemented in the demo, and then some of the real world use cases which you can definitely go back and implement. And if you are interested about this Fabric Data Agent and the related technologies, how do you get started with it, and key takeaways from this session? So let's get started, guys. So let's understand why this session. As you already know that today data volumes are growing day in and day out, right? And this data volume is growing, and it is growing in such a pace that there is an insight required from this data as and when it is available. Data is overloaded with many systems today. There is a significant challenge, and it is very overwhelming volume of data which is coming from multiple directions. Very difficult to analyze this data. There is a limitation of the traditional analytic systems for Power BI reports, or if you talk about Tableau report or any other platform, right? All these methods, data analysis usually very, they struggle a lot to extract the timely insight from it. And AI powered insight extraction is a way to go. AI technology provide a better option, streamline processes for extracting the valuable insights out of it, and quickly and efficiently without any fuss. So this is what we are going to, learn in this. Now, when it comes to business users, right, they want always conversational self-service access. They don't want to depend upon somebody in your data and AI department to get them the reports, right? They want intuitive data extraction where they can use those tools, which is very easy to use with the NLP capabilities. They want AI driven solutions because they want a conversational approach, because all these dashboards provide a very static kind of approach. It can leave you to that dashboard level. You cannot go further. Why this data is coming, what is the trend out of it, how can you make sense of it, right? It does not give you that. It's a very static data set. And they also want this accessibility to the non-tech users. They don't want people to be always knowing SQL. The most of the time, the business folks, they know their domain better than anybody else, but they don't know SQL, and that is the challenge. So they want the data reports or insights accessible to the non-tech users. So these are the business users persona. Now, the good part is, or the good news is, that AI enables this natural language interaction with the data. It it actually transforms the whole data engagement with the users. AI is revolutionizing it with the help of the way we interact with the data in a very most intuitive and user friendly way. It provides out of the box natural language processing, where you can ask the question in your own language, and the data is no more accessible to the data engineers, but also it is accessible to the whole personas of data, whosoever needs it from the business. So these are the changes in the current scenario. Now, in this whole horizon, Microsoft Fabric data and Microsoft Fabric and Azure AI together can empower the smart decisions. How do they empower these decisions? First of all, Fabric, as you know, it provides a very comprehensive end-to-end data management capabilities, where it help you to ensure that your data is in, data integrity, accessibility, is already captured. It also helps you to provide the very insightful informed decision. It provides the AI capability inbuilt into it, which adds the powerful analytical tool in its own. And that combination is a very powerful combination with powerful analytical tool with robust data management, helps you to make a powerful decisions most faster way. So these are the couple of changes which happened from the fabric when it came into the picture. Now, what will you learn? What is there for you today? Let's understand that. So first and foremost, we are going to understand what is data agent, what is fabric data agent, and what is special about this tool, right? Um, Functionality of this data agent. The data agent is nothing but it bridges a gap between the users and the data, which help you to enable the efficient data retrieval mechanism without you knowing the SQL language. It helps you to do a seamless user interaction, and it is tightly integrated in the fabric. Now, how do I integrate this Azure AI agent with the fabric capability, right? Because if this tool is so powerful, then how do I make use of this tool to its fullest extent, fullest potential? So there is this integration process to integrate this tool. Um, you know, First of all, it provides a cohesive user experience and enhanced functionality, and this is what we are going to learn here. First, you are going to build and test the conversational assistant. So, in this whole tool, there is a conversational approach where you can talk to the agent or you can converse with this agent. Okay. Then, after you converse with this agent, there is a testing process around it where you test all those prompts or whatever your questions. Okay. And then, once you validate that everything is perfectly running fine, then you just deploy this agent for the general use. So this is the approach, you know and why this approach is important, because after all, AI, it cannot be 100% perfect sometime. So it always require a testing for you to make sure that it is providing you the required right results, right, in a right fashion. So that is why it is important that you build and test this conversational agent assistant. Now, we are also going to learn a real world demo from the scratch. And how do we do this? We are going to understand the different technologies which can be integrated for this functionality. We will show you the capabilities in the action, and then we will also provide you hands-on experience from it. How can we make this full-fledged experience? And then this is just a starting point. So what we are going to do, we are going to go deeper. If you want to go deeper into it, you can take it to the next level by using some Python based SDKs, which I'm going to tell you how to do that. Okay, so now let's delve deeper into what is Microsoft Fabric Data Agent. Okay, so Microsoft Fabric Data Agent, it enables the natural language interaction with your structured data. It helps you to engage your users directly to find or extract the structured data in your everyday language. That way, it actually make it more usable, your data more usable to your user personas. It helps you to fire the intuitive data queries. Okay, again, it's a NLP where you can express your requirement in terms of even if it is a very complex data extraction in a very simple conversational exchanges, and that makes your exploration very very intuitive, very easy. So this is one of the game changer tool, because you don't have to do anything, just ask your question in a plain vanilla English, and then after that it will provide you the answers. Now, after that, what it does, once you ask a question, internally this tool converts your AI prompts or AI questions into the SQL or Spark queries, because at the end of the day, the data which is stored in your databases are in the tabular format, and that tabular format only understands SQL or Spark. So what it does is it actually translate your English language to the efficient data SQL queries or Spark based queries, and then it makes sure that SQL or Spark queries are accurate. It makes sure that what user want, it is actually creating those queries for user based on the prompt, right? So that is the beauty of this tool. Now, this tool also has a unique capability to connect it directly to the lakehouse data sources, okay, which could be the multiple data sources where you have a multiple tables, views. It can also enable the efficient storage and processing of large data set at the real time, right? It also have a direct access to your warehouse, or it can also query your real time access with the KQL data sources, where it can enable the powerful data insights and analytics. So this can connect to many different data sources simultaneously, and depending upon your question, it can provide those answers uh, depending upon where it is connecting and where it is required to get the answers, right? So that is so. See, if it knows that the question should be fired to the KQL data sources or warehouse data sources or direct data connection to the your data files, it will automatically do it for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's an abstraction between user and the data, right? Now, good part is that if you want to build this kind of tool on your own, the biggest challenge is you need to, if you want to build this kind of tool for your on your own, you need to handle the authentication, end-to-end authentication to the fabric, right? And you will also make sure that user identities who they want to secure this data, right? So they want to make sure that data is accessed by the specific set of users or authorized users. It also makes sure that metadata is managed properly, because if your metadata is not there, then obviously your queries will not work properly. So it does this metadata management. And last but not least, it is grounding techniques. Grounding technique. What is grounding technique? It is these techniques help you to establish the valid connection and relationship between the data, so that the whole interaction is improved and seamless data is integrated. It does not. So there are, there are some grounding techniques in AI which help you to make it more secure and make it more relevant to you. So these grounding techniques are also handled by the tool. So you don't have to worry about all these. The grounding technique is already handled by the tool. So this is where the whole value comes, because as a tool, you don't have to develop these from the scratch. The tool does it on its own. Now, this is called Fabric Data Agent, but there is another agent in the market called Azure AI Agent. And why do I need Azure AI Agent when I already have a Fabric Data Agent? That is what you might be thinking. So when it comes to agentic AI, right? This AI agent can handle the complex reasoning, enhances its decision making and responsiveness in various scenarios. For example, I'm telling you, for example, if suppose you are asking a question and that question require access to ServiceNow, then it require access to Fabric, then it require access to file search, then it require access to some other external API. So how do you handle all these external tools, different API calls? This is very complex, and you don't even know when will you access what. When a question is asked by the user, how do you know that at the time if it required to connect which data source, if it required to connect Fabric, or it required to connect ServiceNow. You don't know. But that complexity is managed by the Azure AI agent. Azure AI agent is a service which knows that which tool is required to be selected and called for a specific task. It also have a memory context maintenance, which means that if you have asked a question, it maintain the memory what question was asked first, and then based on that, it will, when you ask the second question, it knows that the context against which the second question is asked, because you started your conversation on the first question, and there is a context stored into it, right? So that is the whole beauty of it. Okay. And that is where the whole AI agent comes handy. Now, you might be thinking this AI agent is good, Fabric Data Agent is good, but how these whole tools work together, right? So behind the scene, Azure AI agent uses the OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, which is a LLM model for interaction with the users. And this LLM model, large language model, there could be other model you can also use, right? There is a full-fledged model registry inside the AI Foundry. You can use, pick and choose whatever you want to use, and it provides a very nice conversational capability for powerful, communication with the user. So this is a advantage of it. Good part is that this tool can execute the command on your behalf. It can integrate with many external tools. And there are certain tools which is already there, like Microsoft Bing, Fabric Data Agent, File Search, and Microsoft is keep on adding this knowledge tools. And then there could be RESTful API call externally you can make, and there are like there are lots of ways you can connect with the external tool, right? And then once you connect with the external tool, you execute those commands with the external tool, and then once the response is coming back, you are showing that response to the users. Good part about this Azure AI agent is it actually provides you a very natural dialog flow, right? It's very intuitive, very easy to understand, very flow, one step by step. It does the flow dialog as if you're talking to a real agent. And then uh, the it also has a unique capability of prompt chaining, and then multi-turn conversational flow. Multi-turn conversational flow make this data interaction very simpler, more user friendly, and as and when the conversation goes ahead, it improves the user satisfaction in every turn. So that is where the whole the Azure AI agent is powerful. Now, what is the architecture of Azure AI agent? And so first and foremost, user provides the input in the natural language query. Okay, like for example, I'm asking that how many doctors are located in Toronto who are specialists in diabetic. So this is my natural language query, right? So this query is it goes to the LLM model. Azure AI agent interpret this query, and it understand that this particular question require a access to the Fabric Data Agent, because this is a data related question, and it knows that there is a doctor entity inside the Fabric which might be getting this value for the doctor information, and it will directly connect to the Fabric Data Agent to fire that query. Now once it connects to the Fabric Data Agent, Fabric data agent call the Fabric, okay, and then it execute that query. So first it take the question, convert it into the SQL. After that SQL is converted, it fire that SQL on the data source, okay, and then once the response is coming, it provides that data retrieval and give it back to the Azure AI agent. Now once the response is returned, it is presented in a very conversational way, right? It's user friendly way, right? And then this becomes a very natural dialogue. And then it also asks user whether the conversation was good, or provide your feedback, or how was the conversation, or Do you find this answer to be useful? So that if the answer is not correct, it can change the response. So it provides you that kind of capability. Now for this demo, which I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you how we are setting up this demo. First, we are going to set up the Microsoft Fabric, which is I've already set it up. Then I'm going to set up the data agent inside it. And there are certain steps required for data agent setup. Then what we are going to do, we are going to integrate this data agent with the Azure AI. Okay. And then I'm going to show how this whole end-to-end demo works. So before we get into detail of how do I set up this whole thing, first and foremost, we need to create an agent in the Azure AI Foundry. As you know, Azure AI Foundry is a Microsoft de facto platform for building the Azure specific AI components or AI applications. And in the AI Foundry, first we need to understand AI Foundry. Then what we will do, we will register our data agent in the Azure AI Foundry, and then we will use this agentic capabilities in the Azure AI Foundry. Now, this is the approach. Now, we will also make sure that we have an open AI orchestration, which means that we are going to add the open AI model, which will be behind the scene going to use the reasoning power, which is with all the NLP questions coming from the user. It is going to be serviced by the open AI, and that is where we are going to set up the model, and then we are going to show you the end-to-end approach. So now, as a part of this, we are going to fire the natural language query, okay, and then we will send this question to the system, and then we will see the response coming out of it to find out how the whole process works. So now I'm going to show you the whole demo. So let me okay. So let me show you this lake house. This is my Copilot demo WS workspace. In this workspace, I have created a CMS lakehouse. And this lakehouse is created. There are almost 5 to 6 tables inside it. And there are some tables for drug, geography, provider, year, drug cost. These are the tables. So very, very simple lakehouse where it contains all these tables. Now, when it comes to creating a data agent, what I'm going to do, I'm going to again go here, and there is an option for creating a data agent. If you come here, new item, and then create data agent. So there is a data agent preview. So instead of me creating agent again, I have already created the agent. I will show you how to do that. But before we go further into it, I just want to show you, if you want to create this agent, you need to enable certain options inside your admin portal. Like for example, you need to have a tenant setting, and there you need to also make sure that OpenAI specific options are enabled. And in Microsoft, there is a specific set of documentation already there. 1 minute. So there is a OpenAI specific details here. Copilot related details are there. So you need to enable that. For example, allow XML endpoint. This should be enabled. Copilot and Azure OpenAI Service should be enabled. Data sent to OpenAI should be enabled. Capabilities can be designed and Fabric Copilot should be enabled. So there are a couple of things which you need to enable before you can add any data agent. So this is one part. Okay, just one. And if you go through Microsoft documentation, you can easily find what are the prerequisites. And by the way, this feature which I'm showing you here is in preview. It's not full-fledged feature, so there might be chances that you may get some errors, right? But it is worth trying it. It's really great feature. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the Medicare agent, because all this data what I'm showing you now, it is nothing but a Medicare data which I have captured from the government website, and then which is readily available as a data set, and I'm actually using that data to showcase this demo. Okay, now how do I train this? How do I create this data agent? So once you create the data agent, it is going to be blank. So you will add a data source. For example, I have added this CMS Lakehouse data source by adding this data source here. Once the data source is added, there are a couple of steps in this. First and foremost, you are going to put a example queries. For example, in this case, I have captured some queries which, depending upon your business, you should know these queries. For example, I have captured this query: show cost per day of the inhibitors in the state of Florida. And if I need to ask this question, then this will be my query. Show total cost percentage change for 2021. Show up 10 doctors in Florida. So all these queries, I know these queries, and these are my SQL statement for this query. So when you do this, actually, it helps you to and make the data agent understand how the whole data, what are those entities. Okay, so it will understand that user may ask these questions and what are these entities. So that is a part one. And part two is AI instructions. And when I say AI instructions, let me show you these AI instructions. You need to provide the metadata to data agent, that this particular data has these many columns, and each of this table contains what kind of data, right? It is as if, suppose I ask you, okay, please provide me this detail from your database. The first and foremost, you are intelligent enough to know that what table you need to query and what table you need to join it with. You need to know, otherwise you cannot just query it, right? Same way, you need to provide those instructions to the AI, so that AI understand that these columns, these tables, and what is the purpose of these tables, right? So this is what, for example, in this case, drug table, it creates a provider dim as a dimension, column brand name is a brand name, column generic is a generic name of the drug, provider table has this information, year table has this information, geography table has this information, drug cost table has this information. And then after that, you are saying that key classes of drugs. For example, you are saying that all ACE inhibitor drug contains prill with the generic name of the CMS provider dim drug. Like that, you are providing some information which is very domain specific information. For example, in this case, all quinonol antibiotic, also known as quinonols, will contain fluoxetine within the generic name of table CMS provider dim drug. So that means if you ask this question related to this generic name, right, or this drug, it will fire the query against this table. So it knows with this question that this is where what it need to do, right? Same way, if you say all statins are contain statins within the generic name of, this is a provider dim drug table. So you are providing those, and then there is a provider specialties. Internist or internal medicine will contain internal medicine within the column of table provider, dim provider. So this is all business domain knowledge you are going to push here. Okay. So now once you push it here, and then after that, what you need to do, you need to publish this agent here. So it's very easy to publish. You need to just push publish, and the moment you say publish, it will publish it. And fortunately, in this case, I have already published it. So I want to show you my published agent now. This is my published agent. The moment it publishes the agent, it creates a URL, which is a very unique URL. And let me explain you what does this URL do. So this URL is, first it contains a workspace name, which is very unique workspace. Then it says AI skill, and then there is an ID around this AI skill. Okay. And this is the AI ID, which these two IDs, workspace ID and these two IDs you should know. Okay, AI skill ID and the workspace ID. So once it is published now, let's start asking some questions so that it and test it whether this works fine or not. Okay. So let's ask this question: show the total cost of test the data agents. So show total cost percentage change for 2021. Okay. So when it is saying it stopped the whole scene here, so that let it process this value, and it will take some time because need to go create a SQL statement behind the scene. And let me also tell you very clearly that sometime this step may or may not work. Sometime you will find that the first time when you fire a query, it is working fine. Second time you fire the same query, it may not work because it is in preview and Microsoft is working on it. So now if you see total cost changes from 2021 compared to previous year is this much, and then this is a step and this is a query it ran, right? And this is how the whole question's answer is coming up. Good. So now another question. Let's fire. Show top 10 doctors in Florida for total cost of statins. So let's see. It's working on it. Okay. So there is error, right? So even though I checked this, it was working fine. But again, as I told you, it's in preview, right? So again, let's try it. So you will find these issues, because it is still in preview, right? It's not fully functional. Microsoft is working to improve it. Now see this answer is coming fine. Okay. So now it's giving you this answer. Along with that, it is also providing you the queries, but it is running, and then all the results in great detail. Let's fire another one and let's see whether it is working fine. So again, this is also working fine. So like this, you can ask any question from it, and it will provide you the answer. Now, the second part of the demo, what we are going to do here is we are going to attach this data agent to the Azure AI agent. Okay, and that is what we're going to do here. So let me show you this Azure AI agent. There is a AI Foundry portal which I have created. So there is this. Okay. So as you see this, there is a AI Foundry. This is the project. And then if you come here, there is an agent. Again, this feature is also in preview. It is not fully available GA, but let me show you how it works. So here is this um, agents. We created these agents here. Okay, and I'm going to show you how do I create how I created this agent. So first you will come here, new agent, and then in this we are going to come here in the knowledge, and then as you see there are these agents: Fabric agent, AI search, TripAdvisor, grounding, and files. So when I come here, Microsoft Fabric, and I'm going to create a new connection. And as I showed you that there are these options, workspace ID and artifact ID. So if you talk about workspace ID and architect ID, artifact ID, these are the artifact IDs and workspace ID. So if you come here in publishing, this is a workspace ID. And then after the AI skill, whatever that ID is coming, this is your artifact ID. The second one is artifact ID, first one is a workspace ID. So now what we are going to do, so I have already added these two details, and that's it. And then you can just save it. So once you save it, I'm not going to create another agent now, but I just want to show you one agent here. This is the agent which I have. And now after that, you can try it in the playground. So if I try this in the playground, what it is going to do here is it's going to call again the backend Fabric, because now you understand show total cost of percentage change, and it understand it is coming from the Fabric. This query should be fired to the Fabric. So in a complex environment, you will be calling multiple tools. Like for example, you will call the API, external API. You will get the answer from that external API. Then after that answer, you are going to push it in this agent. Now again, this answer is coming from the Fabric, but again, this answer is coming in the Azure AI agent. Another question, let me ask that: show top 10 doctors. So now again, if I'm asking show top 10 doctors, it's again firing this query in the Fabric data agent, the way Fabric data agent was working, right? Again, it is providing you those details with all the people, and it is coming from the Fabric data. So in a typical environment, what we are going to do, we are going to call multiple agents, right? For example, in this case, we are going to call Fabric data agent, then we are going to call another agent, and each agent will work from with each other to make a very complex environment in its own, right? So this is how the agentic AI works in the Fabric. Now let's switch the gear and come back to the presentation again. Okay, so as you understood that behind the scene, Azure AI agent analyzes the user input, identify its intent, and it understood that based on the user query, it need to fire the question to the Fabric data agent. Fabric data agent runs the query and return the output, and user Azure AI again post process the answer and then show it in a human readable format. It does not show you the full information in human readable format. Now, what is the benefit of this whole approach? Benefit is you can enable the natural conversation. You remove the need for the dashboard or SQL access, right? And it also help you to accelerate the time to insight instead of just struggling with the technical details. And not just that, it is doing it in a very secure way. so that you can audit it, who called, what time, when. So that is the benefit of it. Now you might be understanding how can I use this whole data agent with AI. So there are multiple use cases. For example, you can use it in healthcare for analyze the patient group trends. You can use it in the banking for fraud pattern analysis. You can use it in manufacturing domain for tracking the production line KPIs, or you can use it in the sales where you can drill into the regional or category level performance. So these are some use cases where you can use this. Now you might be thinking, how do I start this whole thing? So fundamentally, for make this agent work, if you know how to create the OpenAI model, and you need to also know the AI Foundry, how the AI Foundry handles the tool, how it handles the AI agents, how can you create the AI agent, right? And there is a very good, nice documentation given in Microsoft Learn, where it provides you step-by-step approach, Python SDK, Java SDK, .NET SDK for developing the code. And you know, this is a tip of the iceberg, let me tell you, because this is just a starting point. If you want, you can make it a very, very advanced application with the help of Python SDK, which is provided by Azure AI, where with that SDK you can add so many details. Okay, where you know you can tweak it, you can make a nice UI, and that UI can send the detail to the Azure AI agent. Azure AI agent call the Fabric Data Agent. From Fabric Data Agent, then answer comes, and then you can club multiple tools inside it. So, what are the key takeaways from our session today? The key takeaways are the Microsoft Fabric Data Agent simplifies secure data access. It use you an Azure AI agent can orchestrate with multiple tools. One of the tool is this Fabric Data Agent. It help you to analyze the real-time intelligent data insights and make it a very smarter decision making with a conversational AI. Thank you so much for your time today. Um, let's make our data speak intelligently. That is the whole session all about. I hope you enjoyed it. Floor is open for the questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Rajanesh. Fantastic information here. A lot of great information here being shared. And folks, use the live chat to enter your questions. We're going to give you a minute to do that, as well as remember to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. So you all had a great opportunity here where it was covered the concepts, benefits, and how to, right? Talking about Microsoft AI skills, Azure OpenAI, Fabric Data Agent, how and other tools, and not only how to use, configure, but also how they integrate, as well as what's behind the scenes, right? How is that communication covers there? How does it happen? As Rajanesh covered here and explaining great lengths here. So let us know. And remember, drop a comment, love the video, and give some feedback. Let's go check out if you have any questions right now. And Rajanesh, thank you very much. Really appreciate the time there for coming over with the group, being here with us, and sharing all the knowledge. That's very, appreciated.
Let me know
Let's
if there is a question.
All right, let's go check it out. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna check out the
Sure.
questions, and I need to do one more item to change this. And let's go check out the questions. All right, I do not see any questions at this moment, but I know there will be a lot of people watching this video after its completion. So remember, use the comment section to enter your questions. We
Okay,
will
very good
follow.
question. I think there is a question: how long will it take for companies to not only start using Microsoft Fabric but also make it a part of the process? I think this is an excellent question. Yashasvi, Yashaswini, right? So it depends, how fast you can implement the data like Microsoft Fabric. If you're already using Synapse, very easy to migrate to Fabric. There is a migration tool if you are using SQL databases. There is a new concept or new offering where you can host your SQL databases in the Fabric directly, right? So that is also there. And if you are already using some tools like Databricks or any other PySpark based implementation, easy to use that or put that code there because Fabric uses that Spark based tools. So very easy. Let me tell you that. And once you are a part of the ecosystem, sky is the limit. You can do lots of things because the whole gamut of AI, which is already inbuilt in Azure, already available for you to use anytime. So it's very easy. Just a matter of migrating to Fabric. That's why lots of companies migrating to Fabric to make use of these tools.
Now, do you also, that's my question, right? I also see the capability for agents from different vendors communicating with each other.
Absolutely. There
You,
was one last session which I have imparted in Global Azure as well as in the Toronto Microsoft Office recently, where it is no more a single agent, thing. Now we are building army of agents where one agent talk to another agent talk to another agent, or they talk to their leader agent, and they are working like a team, which is working together. There are framework available from Microsoft like Semantic Kernel. Then there is another one called AutoGen again from Microsoft. It help you to develop the army of agents and also make it in such a way that it is something like, let me tell you, like if you visualize it for ease of understanding, as if you are working in a small team, 10 people team. They are talking to each other, getting the help from each other, making the things happen. But all this is virtually done by the agents. That is the beauty of it, right? For example, if I'm talking about this sample which I have provided you here, right? If I talk about a typical application where you need to call the Bing search, find out some answers from the Bing results, based on that answer find out the data set in your Fabric. That data set is coming, then after that you again find that information in the Bing search or find that information in your data, which is available in your files, and then based on that you take a decision, right? This is a typical use case, right? And how do I do that? This is one example which is very unique about healthcare. You have a healthcare policies and claims. First, you need to find those claims in the claim data, which is in the structured format or unstructured format, and from that data, you are going to find that information in your data warehouse or Fabric or SQL to find out what happened to that claim, what is the policy number. Then you will again start that conversation with the user by dropping an email or whatever way you want. So all these things could be done with the help of agentic AI. Very easy.
so it's as you outline, it goes beyond just the conversation interaction of messages back and forth, but
Yes,
also going beyond by engaging and starting triggering into further actions, such as an
absolutely.
email, for example.
Absolutely. In fact, we are building one agentic solution today in my company, where you start with the creating a PySpark code with the help of prompt. After that code is done, it automatically creates a test case. Once test case is created, it creates a validation script. Validation script is created, it deploy the whole code, and then testing agent test it. Testing is done, it will send the information, everything is looking good, and then find out whether there is a compliance issue. So it give you this compliance related glossary and tagging and everything. Automatically, all these agents are working simultaneously, and then they are making the things happen. So when you talk about this thing, life of a data professional. So morning 8 o'clock he joins. By 4 o'clock, he deploys the code with all these capabilities because there are lots of agents working together to make it
Hmm.
happen.
Yeah, I think the challenge will be keep tracking all of them.
And they are self-sustained, and whenever there is a need of human in the inside this, human in the loop is also captured in that whole process, and then it will be easy for people to uh, change the direction of the agents.
Yes. We have an that's very interesting, definitely there. Very exciting project there that you're engaged on as well on your company.
Yeah,
We have another comment here.
great
All right, great
presentation.
presentation.
Yeah,
Do
please
you
go ahead.
need to define every possible question type, or will the agent also using the question choose SQL examples provided to infer new queries to respond to new questions?
Yeah. So you don't have to provide thousands of questions, but at least you should provide the fundamental entities, fundamental questions types, so that agent understand that what kind of questions will be asked and how to respond to those questions. So that because agent is just a AI, it does not understand your domain. For example, in the healthcare domain, we are talking about some drug names with and their generic name. It does not know that, right? And some of the domain knowledge is very specific to your business which nobody knows, so you need to provide that as a prompt that this is going to be asked and this is how you need to answer it, so that with that fundamental knowledge it can create those SQL queries. And more, there is a balance to it, right? You don't have to provide thousands of queries, but if you provide a certain amount of detail which is very good enough for it to start executing those detail in the agent, it is good enough. And as and when you think that the answers are not coming correct, you can again add more details and make it better, day by day, right? So this is what, but fundamentally if you talk about this one, it is just 5 questions, but maybe I can say that depending upon the data set and number of tables, this may vary.
It's like setting up the domains for of understanding for a topic. And domain, I mean a topic area, right? And then
Correct.
you tie what are the tables that will answer this domain or type of
Exactly.
questions.
Correct.
And then you provide, hey, here's a simple question you're going to get that relates to this under this domain. And
Exactly.
as they start working and reviewing the data and doing its work on the data, that's when it's going to start to derive and deeper understanding itself.
Yeah, because if you talk about, suppose I am asking you some question and you don't know about these entities for which I'm asking you a question, how will you construct a SQL query? You cannot construct a SQL query if you don't know anything about that domain. For example, in this domain, you don't know what kind of table it is, what is the use of this table, and what kind of drug names are generic names, how they are called in the medical industry. If you don't know all this, you cannot make sense of it, and you cannot even if you are a best SQL developer, you cannot write those queries. So that is the minimal thing which is required for you to put it in the data agent. So data agent understand how do it need to create, how can it create those queries efficiently, right? Very good
Absolutely.
question, by the way, Edward.
So, yes, and thank you very much for the question, Edward. Hope we answered to your liking there. Let us know. And remember to like, subscribe, and also drop a comment. Help the algorithm see how we are doing here. We always appreciated that. Now, and also, folks, remember, it's a lot of information, principally if someone has not been exposed to those services. So come back, review the sections, you know, skip and jump to how that specific section is configured, go back and forth, spend some time and and build that knowledge. You're going to be able to go long ways building your own AI agent here. All right. All right. So, Rajanesh, thank you very much again. I thank you. And I thank everyone watching who made the time also to be here with us, and those who are coming after and are making the time to watch the videos as well. We appreciate the support to the group. As such, like, subscribe, drop a comment. and stay tuned to our upcoming presentations. So we have more presentations in the domain of AI. So I think your presentation, Rajaniesh, I think it's like the fourth on that domain. So we're definitely, over the past almost a year already, actually covering AI and with data. So,
Yeah,
all right, folks. All right, hang back for a second, Rajanesh. Let me finish here.
sure.
And again, everyone, thank you all very much. You have a wonderful evening and a great weekend. And I look forward to see everyone on our next event.
Thank you,
All
Adriano,
right.
for
And
giving the
let me
opportunity.
get this.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And please just wait one more second after we disconnect. All right. Let me.